forward. We understand the task at hand, and people were counting us out, but everybody in this room, and these walls knows what we've practiced for, what we've prepared for, and how we're going to come out this season.
How does this camp feel different? Because you've waited a long time to kind of be that starter. So how does it kind of feel this time around?
At first, I thought you were going to say, how does Camp 6 feel?
Well, that too.
But it definitely feels good. It feels the team has a different feel than it's had in the past. There's an edge that we haven't quite had in a while. Our offense is clicking on all cylinders, coming to practice every day, showing a lot of good stuff. The defense is coming to practice every day, showing what it is to be a Pitt defense, showing that the 4 pillars on the back wall, the attitude, effort, toughness, and knowledge, we're coming every day showing that. So it feels phenomenal knowing that.
Kyle was telling us how flexible a lot of you guys are at linebacker to be able to help in deep coverage, not just underneath coverage, but dropping back and using the versatility. What have you seen from not just you, but like the young guys in your room, all the different things they're able to do versatility-wise?
Oh, we got some athletes, especially in our linebacker room. Especially, we have some athletes. We have guys that, for all intents and purposes, in other defenses might be fast enough and quick enough to play safety, which is something that you don't always, which just means it's a special room. It's not something you see all the time. And the knowledge that they have grants them the ability to do that as well. But like, we're a physical bunch. That's why we play. That's why we play up in the box. That's why we play linebacker. We like that mentality. We like the idea that we can come up and try and knock some of these teeth out of every play. It gives that little itch, a little tingle, you know.
What have you seen from Kyle Lewis this camp? Ryan Malek said he's playing with a lot more confidence. Can you kind of tell that?
He's playing. You can tell he's grown a lot. You can tell that he's invested a lot of time into learning the playbook, into perfecting his craft, and it's shown on the field. And how quickly he's able to read certain things, how quickly he's triggering in the run game, and how well he is in coverage. So it's phenomenal to see that, and especially from Kyle, especially from a lot of our younger guys like Biles. You're seeing it a lot from Biles, where he's coming up and playing stuff that it's like you're like, oh crap, like wow, that he made that play. Like, and especially guys like Braylon too, who's like our Swiss Army knife. Like you're seeing guys like that are coming up, pass coverage, run game, blitzing, all that. They've really come into fruition and really become phenomenal linebackers.
You guys, watch some of the film videos from last season. You get a little bit angry at what happened, especially maybe the Syracuse game and some other games.
Yeah, it definitely causes some hard feelings. But at the end of the day, the past is the past for a reason. We've learned a lot since those games. We've learned a lot about ourselves since those games. We've learned a lot of what not to do and what to do in order to prepare better for the season. And I think we've taken steps towards that. And I think more than steps, I think we've taken leaps and bounds towards getting this program back on track and where we need to be.
You're the captain of the linebackers. Who do you feel like you're top lieutenant? Like when you need someone to support your message, who do you look to like first to kind of say like, hey, let's get these guys together?
I kind of said this before as well. I don't think it was with you. I think it was someone else. But I don't really look. We're a collective unit. Like it's not one voice over another. It's not me standing tall over everybody else and speaking down. And that's not what we are. We're a unit and we're a collective. Like if I'm saying something, I'm the only voice heard. That's not necessarily a good thing. Will I say something if I see something's wrong? Yeah, but so will the rest of the guys in the room. The rest of the guys will step up, say, hey, I don't think that's right, and we'll go and we correct it. That's the same all the way down. We all have experienced some just a little bit more than others. Guys like Keith Thompson have also stepped up in certain situations to speak up. Got Heem, Braylon, Kyle, everybody's been stepping up, talking, and doing a good job of really trying to lead us towards a better season. I feel like if you have that on like that superiority complex, you start losing the room and losing the family vibe.
Guys like Rasheed, Jordan, Braylon were able to come in right as freshmen and play a little bit, make an impact in a couple of different ways. Were you not surprised that freshmen were able to make that transition so quickly?
Not at all. When it comes to the purpose of recruiting is to bring guys in that you think can play. And when they came in, it was one of the things like these guys are phenomenal athletes. Let's see if they can learn to play. Look, a lot of people know that when it comes to difference between high school and college a lot of times is your ability to process information at a quick pace. And all them guys, for the most part, were able to process all the information, the playbook, top to bottom, and have a good enough understanding to make some great impact on the field last year.
Do you see similar? Go ahead, Jerry.
Your knowledge of the defense is unquestioned because it's your 6th year. I mentioned the 6th year. But what about the younger guys and their knowledge of the defense and how? I mean, they have great athletic ability, but they get to this part too.
Oh, absolutely. That's where I said about being a collective comes into play. Like when one of us knows something that the other one doesn't, it's not supposed to be a secret. Like we're supposed to explain that to the rest of the room. And that's one thing where I think our room is very, very mature in the fact that if someone has a question, there's no hesitation to answer that question. Or if we all have a question, we go to coach and figure it out. So like we've all invested a lot of time into perfecting what we've built here, and what we're trying to rebuild again. And I think that everybody is bought in, especially I can speak for my room because I'm in my room, but we put a lot of time and effort into knowing each and everybody's position, each and everybody's assignment for that certain play or this certain formation or coverage. And I think you're going to see that pay off this upcoming season.
The fact that this is your 6th year, does that add to that maturity? The other guys feed off of you?
I think sometimes. Sometimes I have a tendency to. I have sometimes a tendency to be almost too straightforward, and them guys sometimes take a moment to light me up a little bit. I'll give them that. Sometimes a little too serious, but that's what I love about all of our guys. That's why we're a family.
Are you gonna be a coach someday?
Maybe. I hope not for a long time, but maybe.
You talked about like the sophomores and how they were ready to play last year. How about the current freshmen?
The current freshmen are coming along really well. You have guys like Jeremiah Marston, who's a very cerebral player. Really understands a lot of the defense. He has the most questions I've ever seen out of a freshman. That's commendable because that means he's seeking knowledge. He's not just sitting back waiting for knowledge to come to him, which is a very mature thing. And you have guys that came in a little bit later during the summer. You have guys like Davin and Cam Lindsay, who are both picking up the defense very well. They're both extremely athletic. They're both making plays on the ball. They're both aggressive. So that's all good stuff to see.
You guys use coach you guys like the ACC championship run. One of the biggest obstacles that I think you guys had to overcome as a defense was when you guys would say like, hey, too many people are trying to do too many things. Like guys would jump out of their roles thinking that they're going to help over here and not sticking to their assignment. How have you seen the guys take on that challenge in practice? Have you seen that happen sometimes, and how do you guys address it to try to get that fixed?
So you see that sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're all football players, right? Everything's risk and reward. You may take a risk this play and it'll pay off with a TFL interception sack. You may take a risk the next play and it ends up being an error. But that's why we're football players. We correct that, and a lot of times you'll hear people say DYJ. DYJ means do your job. So we are a unit. We are a collective. That means do your 1 of 11. So you're one job out of 11 people on the field. You're not the only one on the field. So you'll hear us a lot of times say that. Just remind guys that hey, like this is college football. We're all Division I football players here. We all have our jobs, and we're all trying to get paid, so to speak. So that's where you'll hear that a lot, and that's how we kind of rein it back in when we start to get a little haywire.
You're front and center against Nate and Eli. What have you seen from them, and how's that sort of competition been unfolding?
They're both phenomenal athletes. They're both phenomenal quarterbacks. They both have the ability to move in the pocket and deliver pinpoint throws when their number's called and they see it in the right read. Obviously, I'm not on that side of the ball. I tend to focus more on the defense. So you'd have to ask someone on the offensive side of the ball more or less for a better understanding of it.
How often do you say eat face?
Who said that to you?
I think the shoe said it too.
I don't say it as much, but that's definitely a motto right now. It's definitely something on our board. It's a mindset that we have going in every practice that we're gonna hit somebody in the face and try and come out the rear end. So
Face.
yeah, he knows. He's sitting back there.
A little too graphic for me.
A little too graphic for you. But the other understanding of it, you can look at it like this too. It's how you're supposed to tackle: eyes up, chin up, chest up, face to face, face mask to face mask. You want to see the fear and the soul leave their eyes.
Okay.
I asked that question because you talk like a coach. You're the presence of it.